us?
So today we're going to be cooking how can I put it, a really tasty but not too heavy meal. It's something that I came up with my friend when we went to her house. We looked into her fridge and she was like, let's make something that tastes really good but isn't too heavy. So this is what we came up with. It's a stew made from cod and chorizo.
Okay, let's see how we go about it. So what are ingredients for this meal?
So all we need, it's super easy to make. You need some cod, some butter beans, onions, canned tomatoes, and chorizo, and a bit of oil and water, and that's it.
Wow.
And that's it.
So simple.
Yeah.
So Mary, how do we make this?
Okay, it's super simple. I'm going to delegate the tasks to you. So if you want to chop the onion,
Yes.
finely chopped, and Joyce, if you can chop the chorizo, please.
Okay.
I love it. I can just stay here. Chop this, chop that.
Do this and do that. But usually you're the one cooking,
Yes,
right?
usually I'm the one doing everything. I'm trying to coordinate, so I love it.
How did you start, like, with cooking and blogging and doing all of these amazing things that you're doing now?
Well, I've always loved cooking. My mom is such an amazing cook, so I'd always watch her and I'd try and help her out in the kitchen sometimes. And then a few years ago, I got really interested in health and wellness. It just triggered something in me, and I wanted to learn a lot about healthy eating, so I just looked up recipes on Google, like you do when you're home.
Like you
And that's how
always
you
do.
experimented
That's
with it.
how I experimented, yeah, just cooking for myself. I love cooking, so I try not to go out to eat so much. I think it's better if you can make it at home, if you have the time, because then you know exactly what you're putting into what you're eating.
Exactly.
Okay, on that note, I want to put this on, so medium heat on the
Here we
pan.
go.
If you want to put in some olive oil.
Okay.
See, I'm not doing anything, I love it.
Yeah, enough to cover the pan.
Yeah, that's good, thank you.
Right.
We don't want to use too much, so that's perfect. And then when the pan is a little bit warmer, we're going to pop the onions in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So is there any food that you don't eat?
That I don't eat. I haven't tried bullet. I have to admit.
How long have you been staying here in the Philippines?
Nearly 4 years.
Not even out of curiosity.
Bring out the balloon.
Oh my gosh, no! No!
It was an ambush all along.
I knew there was a catch to being on here.
Right.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
okay.
eat the yellow part.
Yeah,
The
but
brown and the yellow part.
Yeah.
I guess, if the Philippines and Filipinos have a little bit of a heritage, you do as well.
Yes.
We're talking about this, that you are Japanese, British, but you grew up in
Australia. Yeah.
Please explain.
Well, my mother is Japanese, my father's from England, and my father was working in Japan at the time.
Gotcha.
So they met there, they got married, I have a brother and sister, and we were all born in Japan. I stayed there till I was 5, and then they decided to pack everything up and move to Australia. But that's why I'm a mix of all these things.
This is
Good?
ready.
Alright. So if you want to pop the onions in there,
Okay.
remember I'm not doing anything.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank
pleasure.
you. And we'll just keep that in there for a couple of minutes until they go translucent.
Yep.
So that's looking great. Do you want to pop the chorizo in now?
Okay,
So we'll pop them in there. Thank you
Nicely
so much.
sliced, pat on my back.
Beautifully sliced.
Joyce did a great job.
Such a good chorizo slicer. I'm proud of you.
That's gonna be my next multi-hyphenate.
Yes.
Host slash chorizo
Chorizo
slicer.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah.
So we have all the wonderful fats coming out of the chorizo. We've got the flavors, and as you can see, we don't really need to season with much. We've got salt and pepper there, but all the flavor comes from the chorizo.
And that's it.
That is looking
Even the color, you can
wonderful.
see it, right?
Yeah, you can see the red oil coming out, and it smells amazing as well.
Very good,
So
very good.
now that looks great, what I'm going to do is pop some of this tomato in.
Tomato.
Tomato.
I knew Joyce would say something like
I know, because I'm so fascinated with her accent. I'm just like, she's Japanese, British,
There
but
you
she
go.
sounds Australian.
I know, it's a little confusing.
But it's good confusing. And while we're letting this sit, what else are we going to be doing?
So all we need to do, actually, Joyce, if you want to cut these in half.
Yay!
Chopping
Audience
it.
participation.
And
Okay.
then we'll just wait a couple more minutes. We're going to season it first. And
Okay.
then we'll pop the fish in, then we're going to pop the butter beans in, and that's it.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's super
Wow.
easy. Very quick, very simple. Do you want it seasoned with the pepper? And I'll go for the salt.
Okay.
Just
Here we
Ooh,
go.
you go, Joyce. There you
Teamwork.
go.
Teamwork is what we're aiming for. And usually you think about the recipes that you make, right? Mm-hmm. And how do you go about it?
So if I'm overseas, one of my favorite things to do is to go to a local supermarket because it just I don't know.
explore.
Yeah, and it says so much about the people and the culture there. And then you get to find these new ingredients that you've never cooked with. So that definitely inspires me. Or sometimes I'll go with color. You know, food is very visual. It's not just about taste. It's about texture. It's about how it looks. So, you know,
She got it right. She knows her thing.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a country that you've traveled to that you would go to for a foodie experience?
Japan.
Japan, of
Yeah.
course.
Japan.
I agree.
I'm gonna pop these in while we talk about Japan. And I love Japanese food, but I just feel like they do everything so well. You know, you don't do anything by halves there. You really, the discipline is so great and the competition is so good. So you can't get away with having an average meal in Japan.
Go big or go home.
You have to
and-
stand out.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the quality of their food is so great. Their produce is
And it's
delicious.
just, for me, it's the presentation. They're
Yeah.
so dainty and
Yes.
like really intricate with the details.
You know what I enjoy really about when I get to watch your cooking stuff online, it's because you're very young and it seems like you know your way around the kitchens, but very busy
I try.
lifestyle, right? Is there any tips for young people you think, since we live in such a fast-paced lifestyle? How do you go about in trying to find your way in the kitchen? Because if you do get to find your way around the kitchen, you get more healthy, right? So
Of course.
how do you start about it?
Practice makes perfect. Like I said, I just started by looking up recipes on Google, and that's completely fine. There are so many. I mean, you don't need to buy a cookbook anymore. You
Trial and error.
yeah,
Basically.
there are blogs, there are lifestyle
TV
websites,
shows.
TV shows to teach you, and you put in the hours, and you'll see the benefits. Like you really learn. For me, anyway, I'm someone who learns by doing the task. Some people learn visually, some people learn by hearing, you know, things. But for me, it's all about practicing it and going through with it, and that's how I learn. I'd say the fish has been there for about 5 to 6 minutes now, so I reckon we can start flipping them over.
I think so too.
Looks great. Love the color as well.
I'm excited to see how the fish will mesh well with the chorizo taste, right?
Well, at least you get something a bit light there. I mean, the tomato and the fish is very light. Then you get all that punch from the chorizo.
Chorizo. The chorizo will impart a little spice to it.
Yeah, it's a nice balance. That looks great. Great. We're gonna put the butter beans in. This can stay in for about 1 to 2 minutes. We don't want to overcook it because it'll go mushy. But that's it.
And that's it, we're done.
We're done. Yes.
Packed with all the good stuff, and our dish is almost ready, so we'll let this sit and then we'll eat.